Welcome to UMHB University Honors Day. Students, faculty, staff, proud parents, we welcome you to this auspicious event when we mark a significant achievement in the life of our students. It is certainly fitting at an event like this that we reflect for a few moments upon a passage of Scripture. Mark chapter 12, verse 30, a passage with which many of you are familiar. This is Jesus' admonition that says the following: love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Loving God with the heart, soul, and strength is fairly clear. Heart, our deepest affections, our passions. Our soul, our very selves, our whole self. Strength seems easy enough to understand, speaks of intensity and effort. But what about loving God with one's mind? In some versions of Christianity in our day, there seems to be the belief that we should not so much love God with our minds, but rather switch them off when it comes to love and service to God. Indeed, there is a strong tendency within North American Christianity that is decidedly anti-intellectual. Examples of this anti-intellectualism are evident in our culture, from the recurring belief that science is opposed to genuine faith, to the more general claim, reflected in the counsel that I received from someone just shortly before I went to the university. That person told me, quote, that I should be careful that those professors don't destroy my faith with too much learning. Maybe some of you received a similar admonition. Maybe some of you continue to receive that admonition. Can we really worship God with our whole mind? I think we can, for a number of reasons, two of which I'd like to speak with you very briefly this morning. One is that Scripture tells us that God has created a good world. Several times in Genesis, when the creation accounts are there, it clearly says that what God has created is good. This includes our minds. Hence, the mind must be good. Sin occurs not when we use created things, but when we misuse them. To deny that the creation is good is to flirt with an ancient heresy known as Gnosticism. When we pit the natural against the spiritual, the secular against the sacred, or the world against the church, we are flirting with a kind of Gnosticism that keeps the Christian from cultural involvement, from artistic creativity, from social and political engagement. Such Gnosticism generates a fear of science, philosophy, theology, literature, and eventually a fear of all human learning. If the doctrine of the goodness of creation is true, then all of the realms of nature, human history, culture, science, all of them are sacred and are capable of being redeemed by God. The mind that does not seek to appreciate and understand all of these elements of God's creation is a mind that does not fully understand God. Also, I'd like to point your attention to the fact that God has made us very differently, with different talents and abilities. God has made each of us to be rational, moral, and creatures that appreciate beauty. Some of the such powers are to be developed and invested in service to God. This is a matter of Christian stewardship. Mark 12:30 implies that each of us should love God with the heart, soul, and mind and strength. However, God gives gifts to